Lee, we want to celebrate you today and recognize you for your more than 4 decades of leading your teams to innovate, renovate, and now regulate such iconic buildings like the Staples Center. This award celebrates titans of the industry whose courage, commitment, and character, and you have a lot of character, help not just premium and improve our processes, but really impact all of us who have the honor of working with you and really raising the industry. So it is my honor on behalf of the ALSD to present you the Bill Dorsey Visionary Award.
Thank you very much, Michelle, and thank you very much, Association of Luxury Suite Directors. A couple quick housekeeping things before we get started.
Bullseye!
Always wanted to do that. Okay, now I am taking off my face covering, my mask, but as I've learned over the last 8 months, a mask gives you beard mask. So you need to reshape the beard moving forward. This is how it's done for those of you who have grown beards over the last 8 months. Thank you to the Association of Luxury Suite Directors and to my many colleagues who have shaped my 40-year career in this industry. It's an honor to join a group of 9 other professionals who have been awarded this prestigious honor. But first, a little known fact. I'm the only professional that I know of to be honored twice by the association with this Visionary Award in a pandemic. As I was awarded the first Visionary Award during the association's formative years back in 1918 during the flu pandemic. And I'm accepting this award standing on the floor of the just recently hosted Pandemies by Jimmy Kimmel.
Welcome to the Pandemies.
And there are some in the industry who believe early in my career I was the first conversion manager for the Roman Colosseum, converting from boat wars with water on the bottom of the floor to gladiators fighting lions. It's a true story. At least a part of the gladiators fighting the lions. Not so sure it's true that I was there during that time, but we'll have to go to the tape for that. Now, we are taping this October 2nd, so by the time you see this, it will have been 230 days since we hosted an event with fans. Major League Baseball will have started their playoffs. The NFL is in full swing. The Lightning have won the Stanley Cup. Congratulations to Tampa Bay. The Las Vegas Aces and Seattle Storm will have concluded the WNBA playoffs. And congrats to the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat for making the NBA Finals. And I have not shaved since March 13th, and this is the first time in 205 days that I'm wearing a suit, tie and button-down shirt, and socks and shoes. And I think my feet are barking at me right now, trying to figure out what the hell is on them right now. And to be honest, I got very comfortable wearing t-shirts and shorts every day. Now, what is the definition of a visionary? There are many, but I chose this one as I have lived my career based on this. A visionary leader ensures the vision becomes reality by stating clear goals, outlining a strategic plan for achieving those goals, and equipping and empowering each member to act on the plan at the organizational, team, and individual levels. So I'm going to center my speech on my professional journey, highlighted with lessons learned that I hope will be beneficial for people just beginning their careers and for those in my generation. Yes, you can teach an old dog new tricks. So join me as we begin. While I spent 8 years working for 3 different universities in California, my big break was when I was hired by the Forum in December of 1988, and I was there till June of 1998. My first interview was with Jeff Gans and Harold Zubel, and they brought me down. I was the only person they were interviewing. I was shocked. I was elated. I'd grown up going to the Forum throughout the 80s and while I was in college, and I thought, wow, the only way I don't get this job is if I mess it up. They said, we need you to come back one more time and interview with our senior vice president president of Ogden Entertainment Facility Management, who happened to be Doug Logan, very iconic man in our industry. He was the first MLS Major League Soccer commissioner. So I went in, met with Doug, thinking that this is my job. I only need to go to the forum after this. Doug said, "You're one of 3 people." And I said, "My gosh, what am I thinking? One of 3? I've told everybody this is my job." Happened to be 2 other people. One had an MBA out of Florida, one had an MBA out of Arizona, and he was looking for somebody to track financial transactions in the sports and entertainment industry. I'm thinking, I don't know where this went south, but I don't know how I'm gonna explain this to everybody. Small talk, 45 minutes later, after he asked me would I be willing to start it in some other smaller markets, and I was a Southern California kid. I did not want to leave Southern California. I said it would depend on the job. A little bit more small talk, and this is what he said to me as we ended the conversation. He said, "You know, you're going to get in your car and you're going to think," and this is my first message to those young professionals out there. You're going to get in your car and you're going to think, "Wow, I should have asked him this, I should have asked him that." And he said to me, "Lee, is there anything you want to ask me?" I said, "Mr. Logan, I just have one question. It sounds like you were interviewing me for the director of finance position instead of the director of operations position for the forum." He looked down at my resume, looked back at me, and said, "Oh my God, you're right." He goes, "Of course you're qualified. I'm going to send this over to Claire Rothman right away. I'm going to have her bring you down." My message, ask questions. And it doesn't make a difference who you're with, but always ask questions. So I got to the forum. This is my second message. Become a sponge. That first night at the forum, after I got the job interviewing with Claire, I'm standing there wearing thin Italian leather shoes, a thin sport coat. I'm watching the Kings play hockey. I'm standing outside the Zamboni entrance, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't even know where this ice came from. I don't know how it got here, and I don't know what we do with it afterwards. And here I am now in charge of it. For the next 40 days and 40 nights, I learned everything I could about operations, marketing, PR, everything you can imagine about running a venue. So who were some of those early visionaries that helped shape my life? Claire Rothman, obviously, and at the time she was the only woman running a major sports venue. Jerry West, the logo, enough said. But I did learn one thing from Jerry. He had candy in his office, and people would come in there and take a piece of candy, shoot the shit with him. Now I said, wow, if I ever get to a point where I'm running something, I'm gonna put some candy in my office. I went a little overboard. For those of you who have been in my office know that I've probably got 16 jars in there, and I'm not sure people take it more when I'm in the office or when I'm on vacation, because it looks a little lower when I'm gone. Another visionary that I learned from, Magic Johnson, the most transparent person that I've ever had a chance to be associated with. I was there and helped produce that HIV press conference when he retired. I was the last person to walk Irvin and Cookie out of the building, and in that time in 1991, people thought HIV was a death sentence. Obviously it wasn't. Magic, I believed, transformed HIV into something that people could live with, and Magic, thank you very much for all the transparency that I learned from you. Dr. Jerry Buss, a true visionary. What did he do? Senate seats, premier seats, club seats. We had Senate seats. Those were the first, I believe, premium seating programs in the industry. Naming rights. We became the Great Western Forum. Laker girls, entertainment, courtside seat, showtime. Tremendous amount of ideas as a visionary. And then my good friend, and I wish you very good luck, Jeannie, as you are now in the NBA Finals, and by the time we see this, they will be over, and I hope that the Lakers have prevailed over the Miami Heat. Jeannie Buss oversaw World Team Tennis, roller hockey, the Davis Cup, every other sport that we did at the forum back in those days. Jeannie learned and studied and then moved on from until now she oversees the Los Angeles Lakers and oversees that entire operation. You need to understand all the little things as you grow in your career that needs to be done in order for you to get into a position such as Jeannie's, or running a venue or a campus. And she tied generations of fans together. To sum it up, what did I really learn from all these people? The importance of diversity, honesty, transparency, and innovation. And I lead and I live my professional career by those things. In 1998, my journey took me to Staples Center, where I was the first person hired. We've hosted 7 NBA Finals. It could have been 8 behind me. Unfortunately, the pandemic hit, and the Lakers have won 5. Hopefully it will be 6 by the time you're seeing this. We did 2 Stanley Cup finals. The Los Angeles Kings won both of them. We've hosted 5 WNBA finals, of which the Los Angeles Sparks have won 3. 20 out of 22 Grammy Awards. I'll never forget that first Grammy Award night. You know, when we started loading in, I spent 4 nights in the building because we were hanging over 350,000 pounds from the roof structure. Nobody had ever done that before in a venue, and I was concerned, is it going to come down? Is it going to bend? What was going to happen? Fortunately, nothing went wrong, and here we are today hosting 20 of the last 22. We hosted the 2000 Democratic National Convention 8 months after we opened the building. Those buildings that get an opportunity to host it, I envy you, because in 8 months after the building was open, there wasn't anything I could think of to fix when they came out of it, because they tear your building apart. Multiple concerts, family shows, and we've hosted, I believe, more memorials than any other venue. Michael Jackson, Dr. Jerry Buss, the great late producer of the Grammys, John Cassette, Nipsey Hussle, and Kobe Bryant. We opened in October 17th, 1999, after an 18-month construction timeline. Think about that. 18 months to build 1 million square feet of a venue such as the size of this. We've revitalized downtown Los Angeles, in my opinion. And this is a true multi-purpose venue that could host anything and everything, and they turn itself on a dime due to the men and women that perform the conversions on a daily basis in this building. And the success of this building has led us to the first true entertainment district. So, how did I get here? Well, you know, I'm a big Kenny Chesney fan, and I was very disappointed and saddened when he couldn't play at SoFi Stadium back in August. I was looking forward to seeing him again. I can't even remember how many times I've seen him. But Kenny wrote a song, I Didn't Get Here Alone.
But I didn't get here alone.
He released that on the Hemingway's Whiskey album in 2010, and I didn't get here alone. I certainly understand that. Not only the 2,000 part-time men and women that have gotten me to this place, there's a group of people that have been with me on average of 16 years that are my direct reports. And think about that for a minute. 16 years I've had pretty close to the same direct reports. I believe that it's, you know, the weather keeps people in Southern California. It's the great iconic venues that we have built here. It's the philosophy and management of AEG, and maybe a little bit of, you know, I'm an okay guy to work for. But I can't thank Danielle, Iggy, Bill, Michelle, Chris, Wade, Angela, Hallie, Armin, Jim, and David enough, because that is my management team that allows me to be who I am and run this operation. The entire campus is run with this group. Obviously, there are others that report into them, but I can't thank them enough. So, who were the visionaries for Staples Center, Microsoft Theater, and LA Live? Phil Anschutz, Ed Roski, Dan Beckerman, Ted Fickrey, Todd Goldstein, Ted Tanner, Jay Marciano, Tim Lewicki, and my good friend and somebody I miss dearly, Kobe Bryant. So what are some of the lessons that I learned from them? Never underestimate a great design or the purchasing of state-of-the-art equipment for a venue such as this. This helped us do what we have done over the last 22 years. And you need to make decisions in construction. And I always say that you could pay us now or you could pay us double later. And by that I mean, if you're going to not take our advice as operators of these venues, you're going to pay us double when we're going to have to go back in and do these things again. I encourage people who are building new facilities to listen to the people who are going to run them and to make sure you get them on board very early, because they are going to give you ideas, save you money at the onset, and then save you money when you operate them. And this is my third message to the young professionals who are in this business. Do not be afraid to make decisions. I make decisions on a daily basis. I do not make them in a vacuum. All those people that I talked about just a minute ago who have been with me on my journey, I listen to them and then I make my decisions. And then once you make your decisions, stand by them, be it good or bad. Do not waffle and do not go back. What else is very important? You need to hire a staff that understands and buys into your management philosophy. And then the last thing I tell people that kind of makes us iconic, this campus and this venue, is never hurts to have your prime tenant win 3 world championships in the first 3 years of operation. And I think you should fact check me. I do not believe that there is a modern venue that has ever been built and has hosted 3 world championships in major sports in their first 3 years of operation. So what else have I learned? Collaboration. I learned collaboration from the Visionaries in Staples Center, Microsoft Theater, and LA Live. Establish strong relationships with state, local government, including police and fire. You're going to need them as you grow and as you host numerous events. We had 5 in the beginning, professional franchises playing in this building. We now have 4. So we needed to be able to adapt. We needed to practice flexibility. We needed to be able to deal with changing ownership groups, with changing management groups. And we have been able to do that successfully for the last 21 years. And the last thing I would say, instill trust in your staff, both up and down your org charts, and become a coach to your team. Be there for them. I've had an open door policy since day one, and they understand that I'm gonna listen, and then I will make decisions that need to be made based on the input from them. So, Kobe Bryant. Having the opportunity to know Kobe and watch his entire career in the venues I worked, I learned not to be afraid to do the work, to put in the time to get to the next level. Kobe is truly missed. And it was a tribute to not only Kobe, but the Los Angeles Lakers, the NBA, and the Los Angeles Clippers that allowed us to host the memorial here at Staples Center before a Clipper game that day, and allowed us to organically let that memorial grow right after that tragic helicopter crash that took the lives of Kobe, Gianna, and 7 others. But I learned quite a bit from him as I was with him his entire 20-year career, watching him play at the Forum and watching him play at Staples Center. We made the decision to open up the Microsoft Theater October 17th, 2007. We've hosted more award shows than any other venue, including the Primetime Emmys, the ESPYs, the American Music Awards, the Grammy Premieres, the BET Awards, and many, many others. And then we fully opened up LA Live in 2008. And by then, the financial crisis was upon us. We opened up 2 hotels, the JW Marriott, the Ritz-Carlton. We had a 14-screen Regal Cineplex. We had the ESPN West Coast Studios. We had the Grammy Museum and 3 additional entertainment venues, plus 17 restaurants. I'll always remember that first year when the playoffs ended, I had 17 restaurants knocking on my door saying, "Lee, what is next?" I said, "October, that's when the seasons begin again." But we do have concerts, family shows, the Sparks, so there were events, but we needed those restaurants to go out there and market themselves to the downtown community. And you need to counter program on the days when your big venues are not in operation. What do I believe the future holds for our industry? And these are my personal opinions, so please do not relate this to anybody else. This is Lee Zeidman just giving you his personal opinion. First, I believe there's no replacement for the live experience. The sights, the sounds, the smells of a sporting event or a concert, coupled with the interaction with your friends and family, that will never be replaced. And when it comes to speculating, what is in store for our industry? I'm not a Debbie Downer or a negative Nelly. I'm really a realistic Ricky. In fact, I'm a realistic optimist. Each state, each county, each city has their own protocols and guidelines for hosting mass gatherings again. Some are opened up now to do 20% capacity, 50% capacity. And while everybody, including me, applauds what sports has accomplished working in bubbles, such as what the NBA did in Orlando and what the NHL did in Edmonton and Toronto, let's be realistic. We didn't build these stadiums, arenas, theaters, and clubs to host events without fans or at reduced capacities. Our guidelines to operate post-COVID-19, everything from parking cars to entering our venues to food and beverage to merch to sanitization, etc., needs to be reinvented. And we need to marry those guidelines and protocols up with not only the states, the counties, and the cities' protocols, but with the leagues that play in our venues and with the teams. I believe we need to educate all those agencies because they're really not familiar with how our venues work. They're more focused on what they should be. That is keeping the healthcare professionals safe, that is keeping the hospitals from being overrun by COVID-19 patients, and that is flattening that curve. And finally, I believe it's going to take a combination of drug therapy to reduce the mortality rate and the burden on the hospitals and the healthcare system, along with a vaccine. I believe we do need to be wearing face coverings or masks, whichever your preference is. I do believe we need to social or physical distance as best as possible. And we need to wash our hands. Most of all, we're going to not only have to educate our team members and our staff that we're going to be safe to open up, we're going to have to educate the state, the county, the cities, the leagues, that we are safe and that we do have protocols that will allow us to do mass gatherings again. And most important, we're going to need to educate the fans that yes, this environment is safe and you're going to want to come and you're going to want to be part of that live experience again. Thank you to the Association of Luxury Suite Directors for this very prestigious award. And as I like to end all my texts, my Zoom calls, my go-to calls, Microsoft Teams, all of these things that I don't even think I did prior to March 12th, I like to say, stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive, but I'm going to add one more, and that's please, go vote. And just when you thought that speech was over, you know, we shot it October 2nd, so a quick update. I'm in my backyard in Venice, California, wearing my pandemic outfit, t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops, and what I believe is a catchphrase of 2020. Big shout out to the WNBA Seattle Storm on their 4th WNBA title, and another big shout out to the Los Angeles Lakers on their franchise record-tying 17th NBA title, and to our good friend Jeannie Buss, the first woman-controlling NBA owner to hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy. I look forward to seeing everybody at ALSD next summer when it's safe to host mass gatherings again. Please stay safe.